Hi, this is Gail Polubiak, CEO and founder of Interview Academy. I am so excited to be with you for our webinar on Tuesday. But in the meantime, I wanted to make sure I gave you some training on how to work with recruiters that I think is going to. I think this is going to help you get a real jump on the competition. So, because a lot of people, there's a myth out there on what recruiters do. I think a lot of people think that recruiters take a lot of the resumes that they get, look for the really good ones, of course yours is one of them, and then take it and market it to the contacts they have built up in the industry. And unfortunately, nothing could be further from the truth. That is not the way it is. These recruiters, they're marketing their own services to the companies, and when the company gives them a job assignment and tells them exactly what they're looking for, what the parameters are, what it takes, then the recruiter is spending hours and days and weeks working through their list of contacts to find the most appropriate candidates to put into those companies. And so you may be a means to an end, but you're not the end for recruiters. And I really stress this because I think so much of the frustration of why recruiters aren't getting back to you, why they're not calling, why they're not following up, has to do with some of that. It's a misconception. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you and give you some help on how to approach the recruiter so that you're really top of mind. The first thing is, when you're approaching them, in your email subject line, make sure you use your title or the title of a position you're applying for to be specific. If you put things like hello or maybe even introduction, that's just too vague. It's not going to grab their attention. It's going to be put off to the side to be read later. And you really want to make sure that you pop right at the beginning to give yourself the best fighting chance here. Now, when you are in the body of your email, or if you're communicating with a recruiter on the phone, the one thing that you want to stress are the key accomplishments that you have brought to the table. Make them as tangible, quantifiable as you possibly can. I want to make sure you understand how a recruiter works. And so to think about it this way, think of yourself as the recruiter. And you have a search and you've filled out the itinerary for your client, but you have room for one more candidate to enter into the process. But you have two people that you're looking at. One presents themselves and shares that they've been in enterprise sales for 7 years. They moved their market share from 3% to 5% in a year, and they lead their division in client retention. Versus the other candidate whose resume may be just way long, way too much text, hard to understand, and in the conversation just talks about having years of experience, good clients, and something very vague. If you only have a chance to present one more candidate, I'm sorry, but the one with the specific tangible results, that's the person that's going to get ahead of it. So that's why I share. When you're talking to a recruiter, make sure that you are interviewing with that recruiter at the same level that you would interview with a client. Be specific on why you are the best talent, and do not speak in generalities. Be quantifiable. And then lastly, when you're speaking to that recruiter, maybe ask for their advice. You know how it is. Everybody likes to wants to have their opinions known, and so they love sharing them. And it doesn't hurt to ask for their opinions. They are the leader in the market. They've got their finger on the pulse, so you might as well take advantage of this information. And if you can make any changes in the way you present yourself, or know a little bit about what clients are looking for now, client retention may be a big deal in some industries. In another industry, it may be technology, innovation, whatever it is, whatever the function is that you do. Sometimes the different hot buttons ebb and flow through market cycles. So make sure that you're kind of right there and you get their opinions. The other part of that is that you can really put yourself at the top of the game in the mind of the recruiter if you share referrals. Ask them if there's anything that you can do for them. If there are any tough assignments that they're working on, maybe you know someone that you could point their way. This, believe me, is an ace when you're talking to a recruiter. That is, it's one of those you scratch my back, I'll scratch your things. And so this can really help you. And then lastly, what about the follow-up? How I am often asked, how many times do I follow up with a recruiter? My counsel is really it's not necessary to follow up more than once a month. Unless, of course, you've had some new certificates, you've got a new certification, or your parameters change regarding relocation, or your salary compensation demands change. Those would be necessary things to share with a recruiter. But just the idle check-in, no more than once a month. You also maybe can talk, keep yourself sort of up top of mind if you have an article that you think is helpful to them, or an article that you've been mentioned in. That's really good stuff. But again, no more than maybe twice a month on the articles. And that squeaky wheel gets the grease idea, nah, not so much in the world of recruiting. Squeaky wheels without any substantive content, it's probably not going to get moved ahead, usually gets avoided. So I know that a lot of your competition is dropping the ball when it comes to dealing with recruiters. So hopefully this is going to give you a competitive edge. And I think that's whatever can help you, that's what I'm here to do, is serve you for that. In the meantime, I'm looking forward again to our webinar. I've got some great ideas, and I think it's really going to help you if age discrimination, ageism is an issue for you. So I look forward to speaking to you then, and until then, have a great day. Take care.